Hello, everyone. Today I am joined by Nancy Linnerooth, who has been on the trajectory of business growth for a few years now. And I really appreciate you, Nancy, for committing to the process, understanding that exponential growth is a journey and just showing up, always following the recipe, and I'm delighted to have you here. One, to celebrate you, and two, to really share what the process has been like for you. So thanks for joining me. And where were you when we first met? Like, what was your business like?
Well, thank you, Fabienne. I can't even remember how that far back. I started stalking you on your newsletter and all the things way back before I actually joined Bold Heart. And I had a little tiny business, a little tiny side hustle while I was being a therapist. But I really wanted to grow that coaching practice. And so I was trying to pick things up, and you were one of the people I kept coming back to and watching your things and learning from that.
Why did you keep coming back? Because there's thousands, if not millions, of people talking about things in the same genre or category. Why here?
It was a truly different energy. There's a lot of stuff out there with a very masculine push, and you got to do this and you got to do that. And it really pushed me away, in fact. And I thought, well, I don't think I can do that. If that's the only way to do it, what am I going to do? But you showed up with this different way of being and said, yeah, come. Be loving, be generous, be helpful, follow your mission, and make a lot of money doing that. And I'm like, sign me up.
So thank you for sharing that. So it was a side hustle. You were moving from therapist to coaching. And how was that going?
It wasn't going very far at all. I mean, I didn't have any sort of real program to follow. I was just picking up a little bit here, a little bit there. And I realized I finally went to one of your events, in-person events. And it was that point where I realized what I really needed was training in how to do marketing and sales. And you were offering that. And I said, yeah, okay. And I signed up for it. But I have to admit, I got all of that and more, and it's fantastic. And it's not why I stay. I mean, I stay for you and for the community and for the mindset first approach you bring, because that really has always been my issue, is to figure out what's going on inside of me that's keeping me from doing all the things and growing my business. And because you highlight it every single time we get together for everyone, it makes it something we can all feel comfortable about because we're all doing it.
Yeah.
And it also highlights it when it's time to go and work on that and make changes there. So
yeah, I think there's a false approach. So as you know, I've been in business for 22 years as a coach. For 15 of those years, I've been at multiple seven figures. Thank you, thank God, thank whatever. And what I've noticed is everybody thinks they need strategy, and of course, you need strategy, right?
yeah,
They just think you need 100% strategy. And it's like, okay, so let's talk about your mindset. Let's talk about the resistance. Let's talk about the beliefs. Let's talk about the identity. Let's talk about the habits. Let's talk about all the things in the blind spot. And what I really appreciate about you, Nancy, is that, so we've been working together for some time. We're still in the middle of you describing your journey, and I would just snuck in there, but with an appreciation share about you. But you have always shown up and said, okay, give it to me straight. How am I getting in my way? And then you take it and you're off to the races, and you come back and you're ready for your next level, and you show up at your next level again and again and again. And so you're one of those people who continually proves that it's not just the strategy.
And it's interesting because my business is helping people with their mindset, with the subconscious blocks. And it's like, I can't see the forest for the trees when it comes to me. And
Yeah, but I get my own mindset work done too. Like you have to get help in the things that you do. Well, one, because otherwise you're out of integrity, and two, because that's how mastery shows up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
you made it so clear.
What's that?
You made it so clear that that's really a very important starting point. You've got to change that before any of this other stuff will work or will stick.
Yeah. So you came for the marketing and the sales, and you joined us in our growth track, and you got yourself from little hobby to 6 figures, which is like the top 5% of entrepreneurs in the world, Nancy, right? And then it was time to leverage.
Yes. All of my questions suddenly were about, what do I do now? I'm like tapped out. There's no more of me to go around. How am I going to get any further? And so I joined Leverage, biting my nails, because who am I to think I'm going to grow beyond, 6 figures? But it was the best thing I could have done. I mean, you changed the way I looked at what I could do in my business to the point where I could start doing group work, which I never thought I could do. And then I was
this was a sticking point. This is a sticking point for a lot of people when you get to 6 figures doing onesies, twosies, like 1-to-1. This is what happened to me. And I thought no one will pay for group work, right? Is that what happened to you? Share what you can.
Well, I was thinking, but I'm really good one-on-one, going deep with people and figuring out what's going on in their stuff. How could I possibly bring that to a group setting? But with the support of you and all the women in the community, I'm like, okay, it's time. I have to do this. And it's the only way I can help even more people. And so I tried it, and it was amazing. It actually ended up being, in ways, more powerful than I could bring just one-on-one, because there was the same support and the resources and the opening up different possibilities within the group setting. And then I had to grow from there. And now I have a signature program, a program where I have multiple groups within the bigger program. And I'm helping with videos, which I always thought, videos are not that big a deal, but they're a piece of what I offer. So that I'm not running ragged for everything. And I'm in the process of building this up. And I know that I've got all the support in the world. I was just at a pod meeting last week where it's somebody who said, oh, well, here's what you need for the next live event you're doing. It's like, oh, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
I keep, I keep hearing you say best month ever, best year ever, like just continually reaching new levels. How are you doing that? What are you doing to create best week, best month, best year again and again and again and again?
I'm doing all the things that you teach. I'm showing up. And I have to say, I think it comes down to the mindset work that you highlight. Because I had been doing a lot of things before and it was just sort of very slow growth. But as I dove all in, it's become bigger and bigger and bigger. And I have to say, the very last day I was working in December of last year, just a month ago, I had my best revenue day ever, which was my best revenue week ever, which was my best revenue month ever. And then the year was my best revenue month. And it really all the things came together. And when I changed the mindset, it just all worked. What can I say?
It's funny. I talk about the 8 leverage activators. You need to leverage a team, you leverage your systems, your time, your business model, etc. Like you have to work less to make more. And at first people don't get that, but it's really when you couple that with the mindset work. This is the fairy dust, the secret sauce, the game changer, the catalyst that has people, women in business like you, Nancy, who are, when you can point, so the reason you're not showing up and is the fear of visibility, and the fear of visibility came when this happened, etc. And then in one session, 2 sessions, just that little element changes, and then the person is off to the races with visibility, and it's not an issue anymore. Or same thing with raising the rates, or like you, moving from 1-to-1 and really vehemently saying it's only going to work that way, to then now three different groups. It's super powerful. I'm really glad that you're sharing it with those listening today, because if there's sometimes women give up on themselves because they say, I've tried everything and it hasn't worked. I guess it's I'm not cut out to be a successful entrepreneur, certainly not a multiple 6-figure or 7-figure entrepreneur. And I say, that is not true. You just need to work on the strategy and this.
Yeah.
Powerful.
And I've seen other people in their marketing that you can tell by some of the words they drop in that they do the mindset work, but they don't make it front and center for the people that work with them. It's just one of the things they know works, but they don't bring it in. And you have been brave at the beginning to bring this out. And now it is just simply what we do. And I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah. I'm so, it's beautiful watching you evolve into the next evolution of what you're here to do in the world, helping so many people and making good money as a result. Tell me what it's like, there was a point where you were, solo. Most of us are in the beginning, solo. And for the last few years, you said it yourself, right? I just keep coming back for the community. And of course, I take you to new levels of who Nancy is, and how she shows up in her business, but also her identity. I'm speaking about you as if you're not in the room, but being totally immersed in these dozens and dozens of 6-figure business owners, some of them 7 figures, who got there as a result of being in the program. What is being in this sisterhood, if we can call it that, of powerful, generous, kind, loving, ambitious on a healthy level, fun women? How does that affect you on a daily basis?
It has been transformational. I came in thinking I'm a therapist. This is, I'm just doing a little bit and it'll be okay. I'll have a little business. And it has really stretched me to see, I could be someone with that kind of a business. In fact, I am somebody with that kind of business. We're all in this together. We're all growing our businesses in our different industries. And to see all of these wonderful women making it happen, it makes it possible for me too, in a way that it wouldn't have been if I hadn't been in this kind of a container where I could hear from them and see them in action. It's been critical to my changing who I am, seeing who I could be.
Yeah, seeing who you can be when you're seeing other women get to 500,000, to 1 million, to 2 million, and seeing that they're not jerks, and they didn't do it by stabbing people in the back, but they did it quite the opposite by being more of who they are, in a super loving way. I mean, I'm not putting words in your mouth, right?
That's absolutely what I experience. And it's like every week, at least once a week, I'm in the group with all these women. All the different ways you make community happen for us. I love the two-day trainings we get, where we get to get into breakout rooms with each other and get to meet each other and hear what's going on in our businesses. And it is a critical piece of Bold Heart, which I value so highly.
Yeah. I often say, I created this community because it's the thing that I missed. I was in all the bro masterminds, right? All the bro. I love them. Those guys are great, but I am not a guy, and I don't want to have habanero eating contests when I've got babies at home. Tell me what to do to my business.
Yep.
And what I realized is I needed a community of other women who normalized that I could have it all, whatever all meant to me. And for me, it meant freedom, impact, and I wanted to earn very good money and be an inspiration to my children and give back and all of that. And I created it. And, you know, just to see this community be world class, I don't believe it exists anywhere else in the world. And it attracts these incredible women who have come out of the woodwork to support each other in ways that are astounding. Nancy, what's possible for you on this track that you're on in the next 2 to 3 years? Where are you going to take your business?
I am this year stepping into a much bigger arena. I'm doing bigger speaking events. I am opening up seats in my community for a lot more women to come in and make change. And I still need a little stretching here. I could see in three years, I could see being at 500,000.
Yeah.
But I think maybe it could be even more. Stretch me a little bit more, and I think I could see more.
Did you think when you first started this business as a little hobby that you would get to 500,000 or more?
No. I was in it just to replace that therapy practice so that I could help people in the way I wanted to. And I figured, well, you know, I can make as much, maybe a little bit more in a business doing the one-on-one work. But now,
Nancy Linnerooth, 500,000 working from home, doing what she loves. Seriously making an impact. That is, like, if you think about it, there are women who are working harder than you are, and God bless them, for $25,000 a year. And this is, you know, it's incredible. This is what you make in a month. And so there's a lot to be said about saying yes to the journey. And continuing to say yes to the journey and not unplugging, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Words of advice for somebody who's talking herself out of whatever her next level is, since you're so good at helping people get out of their own way. What would you say to somebody who has this little inkling inside that says, I wonder if I can have more, without coming from this energy of greedy, but more like, I wonder what's in it for me. In fact, if I were to say, what would you say to the Nancy from a few years ago that was, you know, looking at this, if I could just replace this income into my hobby business to 500,000, what would you say to her?
It is absolutely possible. Show up and do it and give it your all. Don't leave anything behind. Don't, well, I'll try a little bit. Go all in.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you'll be left with regrets. But if you go all in, so much, if you can imagine it, it can happen. It will happen. So,
yeah, this idea of moving. Sometimes people say, "Well, can I just try the program for a month?" We're like, "No," because no one's going to want you on their mastermind if you're only there for a month. Are you committed? Like, it's not even committed to the program; it's committed to you, to your clients, to your destiny, to your family, to your life's purpose. Yeah. I love your concept of just go all in.
Well, I knew when I started with Bold Heart that it was an investment. And my husband's like, "Are you sure?" And I promised him I would do everything I could to make the most out of this opportunity. And we agreed that no matter what happened, it would be a win. Either the business would grow like it has done, and now he's working for me and all those good things, or at least I would know I tried, and that I didn't sell myself short. I gave it my all. No regrets there.
Super inspirational, because we talk ourselves out of things all the time. Thank you, Nancy, for sharing your story. We're in the middle of your story, right? So there's the best is yet to come, and I think it's super helpful. Sometimes people only share the results once it's all done. I love talking to you now and talking to others on their journey, because it's super inspirational to the women who haven't really started their journey yet. They can see that it happens in stages. Thanks, Nancy.
Oh, thank you, Fabienne. Thank you for everything.